Jake Morrison wiped the grease from his hands and looked at the broken engine in front of him. The space station New Haven was old, and something always needed fixing. He had been working on the same cooling system for 3 hours. His back hurt, but the work kept his mind busy. At 38 years old, Jake had seen enough war to last 10 lifetimes. The Great Galactic War had ended 15 years ago, but he still remembered the sounds of laser fire and the smell of burning metal. Now he fixed things instead of breaking them. It was better this way. The station floated near the edge of human space, where different alien races came to trade. It was neutral ground. No fighting was allowed here. Jake liked that rule. "Chief Morrison to the docking bay," came a voice over the radio. "We have an emergency landing request." Jake sighed and put down his tools. Emergency landings usually meant trouble. He walked through the metal corridors of the station, past the shops and living areas where humans and aliens worked together. The war was over, but trust came slowly. The docking bay was busy when Jake arrived. Commander Lisa Hayes stood near the control panel watching the screens. She was Jake's boss and one of his few close friends. Her short brown hair was pulled back, and she wore the blue uniform of station security. "What do we have?" Jake asked. "Old Elven scout ship," Lisa said without looking away from the screen. "Pretty beat up. They're asking for emergency repairs and safe passage." Jake felt something cold in his stomach. He had not seen an elf in many years. The Elven people kept to themselves after the war. They did not trust outsiders much. "Just one ship?" he asked. "Yes, 2 passengers, a woman and a child." The docking bay doors opened with a loud hiss. A small silver ship flew in slowly. Jake could see burn marks on its sides and patches where someone had tried to fix holes. This ship had been in a fight. The ship landed with a soft thud. Steam rose from its engines as they cooled down. Jake and Lisa watched as a door opened on the side of the ship. A woman stepped out first. She was tall and thin with long silver hair that seemed to shine in the station's lights. Her ears came to sharp points and her skin was pale like moonlight. She wore simple brown clothes, but Jake could see she was beautiful in the way only elves could be. Behind her came a small girl. The child had the same silver hair as the woman, but her ears were only slightly pointed. Her eyes were brown and very human-looking. She held the woman's hand tightly and looked around the docking bay with fear. Jake's heart stopped. He knew that face. Even after 15 years, he could never forget Lyra Lee Moonwhisper. During the war, Jake had been part of a rescue team. They had found Lyra Lee in an enemy prison camp. She was hurt and scared, but she had helped them escape. For 3 days, they had hidden together in old ruins while enemy soldiers searched for them. In those dark hours, they had found comfort in each other. Jake had thought about her many times over the years. He wondered if she was safe, if she was happy. He never expected to see her again. Lyra Lee looked around the docking bay until her eyes found Jake. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then she walked toward him, leading the child by the hand. "Hello, Jake," she said. Her voice was soft and musical, just as he remembered. "Lyra Lee," Jake said. His voice came out rough. What are you doing here?" She stopped in front of him. The child looked up at Jake with curious brown eyes. There was something familiar about those eyes, something that made Jake's chest feel tight. "I need your help again," Lyra Lee said. "Just like before." Jake looked from her face to the child's face. The little girl had Lyra Lee's silver hair and pointed ears, but her eyes and the shape of her face looked like someone else, someone Jake saw in the mirror every morning. "This is Zara," Lyra Lee said quietly. "She is 8 years old." Jake did quick math in his head. 8 years old. 9 months after their time together during the war. "Jake," Lyra Lee said, and her voice shook slightly. "This is your daughter." The words hit Jake like a punch to the stomach. He stared at the little girl, seeing himself in her features now that he knew what to look for. She had his stubborn chin and his way of tilting her head when she was thinking. My daughter?" Jake whispered. Commander Hayes stepped forward. "I think we should take this conversation somewhere private," she said. Zara tugged on her mother's hand. Mama, is this him? Is this my papa? Lyrelay knelt down next to the child. Yes, little star, this is Jake. This is your father, Zara let go of her mother's hand and took a step toward Jake. She was small and thin, but she stood straight and looked right into his eyes. Hello, she said. Mama told me stories about you. She said you saved her in the war. Jake's knees felt weak. He knelt down so he was at eye level with Zara. Hello, he said. What kind of stories? She said you were brave and kind. She said you shared your food with her when she was hungry. Zara smiled, and Jake saw his own smile looking back at him. She said you would help people even when it was dangerous. Jake looked up at Lyrelay. Why didn't you tell me? Because you deserve to live your life, she said. The war was over. You were free. I did not want to trap you with a child you never chose to have. But she's my daughter, Jake said, looking back at Zara. Yes, and now I need your help to keep her safe. Commander Hayes cleared her throat. People are starting to stare. Let's move this to my office. As they walked through the station, Jake's mind raced. He had a daughter, a little girl who looked like him and Lyrelay mixed together. For 8 years, he had been a father and never knew it. Zara walked between Jake and Lyrelay, looking around at everything with wide eyes. The station must seem huge to someone her size. It's very big, she said to Jake. Do you fix all of it? Just the parts that break, Jake said. There's always something that needs fixing. I like to fix things too, Zara said. Mama taught me how to fix our ship when it got hurt. They reached Lisa's office and she closed the door behind them. It was a small room with a desk and several chairs. Through the window, they could see stars and the darkness of space. All right, Lisa said as they all sat down. Start from the beginning. What kind of help do you need? Lyrelay took a deep breath. Someone is hunting us. Someone very dangerous. They want to take Zara away from me. Who? Jake asked. Why would anyone want to hurt a child? Because she is special, Lyrelay said. Because of what she is. Human and elf together. There are people who would pay a lot of money for a child, like her. Jake felt anger building in his chest. What kind of people? The kind who start wars, Lyrelay said. The kind who think children are tools to be used. Zara was playing with a small device she had pulled from her pocket. As Jake watched, she took it apart and put it back together with quick, sure movements. Her small fingers moved like she could see inside the machine. How long have they been chasing you? Lisa asked. 6 months. They destroyed our home. Killed our friends. We have been running ever since. Jake stood up suddenly. The anger was too much to sit still. They killed people? For her? Yes, and they will not stop until they have her. Lyrelay's voice was steady, but Jake could see fear in her eyes. I brought her here because this is the only place I could think of where she might be safe, where you might help us. Jake looked at his daughter again. She had finished playing with her device and was now studying the room's computer terminal with the same intense focus. Papa, she said without looking away from the screen. Your computer is broken. The memory core has a crack in it. Lisa frowned and checked her computer. She's right. How did you know that? Zara shrugged. I can hear it thinking wrong. Jake and Lyrelay exchanged a look. This was not normal, even for a half-elf child. We'll help you, Jake said. He did not know how, but he knew he meant it. Whatever it takes, we'll keep her safe. Outside the office window, 3 unmarked ships appeared, at the edge of sensor range moving toward the station. The next morning, Jake brought Zara to his workshop. He wanted to spend time with his daughter and learn more about her strange abilities. Lyrelay came too, but she stayed quiet and let them talk. Zara stood on a box so she could reach Jake's workbench. Her small hands picked up tools and examined them carefully. She seemed to understand what each one was for without being told. Mama says you build things, Zara said as she looked at a broken scanner. I fix things mostly, Jake said, but sometimes I build new things too. Can you teach me? Jake smiled. I'd like that. He showed her how to take apart the scanner safely. Zara watched everything he did with intense focus. When it was her turn to try, her hands moved quickly and surely. She found the broken part before Jake even pointed it out. How did you know it was broken there? Jake asked. Zara tilted her head. It feels wrong, like when someone sings off-key. Jake looked at Lyrelay. Is this normal for elven children? No, Lyrelay said. Elves can sense technology, but not like this. Zara can do things I have never seen before. As if to prove the point, Zara placed her hand on the broken scanner. Her eyes closed, and for a moment, nothing happened. Then the scanner hummed to life, all its lights turning green. I fixed it, Zara said simply. Jake stared at the scanner. It had been completely dead when they started. Now it worked perfectly. How? He whispered. I told it how to work again, Zara said. Machines like to work. They just sometimes forget how. Commander Hayes' voice came over the radio. Jake, please come to the command center. We need to talk. Jake looked at Lyrelay. Stay. Here with her. I'll be back soon. The command center was busy when Jake arrived. Lisa stood in front of the main screen, talking to Amy Rodriguez, the station's security chief. Amy was a tough woman with short black hair and quick eyes. What's the situation? Jake asked. 3 ships showed up on our sensors this morning, Lisa said. They're staying just outside our space, but they're definitely watching us. Pirates? Jake asked. Worse, Amy said. I ran their engine signatures through our database. These ships belong to Kethvara. Jake felt cold. Everyone in. This part of space knew that name. Kethvara was an alien crime lord who controlled dozens of worlds. He bought and sold anything that could make him money, including people. He's after the child, Jake said. Probably, Lisa agreed. The question is, what do we do about it? We protect her, Jake said. She's just a little girl. Amy shook her head. Jake, this is Kethvara we're talking about. He has an army. We have 20 security guards and some old mining lasers. So we call for help, Jake said. Help from who? Lisa asked. The nearest military base is 6 days away. Kethvara could take this station in 6 hours if he wanted to. Jake stared at the screen showing the 3 enemy ships. They looked small from this distance, but he knew each one carried enough weapons. To destroy New Haven? There has to be something we can do, he said. Maybe there is, came a voice from behind them. They turned to see Lyrelay walking into the command center. Zara was with her, holding her mother's hand. You shouldn't be here, Amy said. This area is restricted. Your security locks are very simple, Zara said. I just asked them nicely to open. Lisa looked at the door controls. All the lights were green, even though she had locked the room herself. We need to talk, Lyrelay said. All of us. There are things you need to know about why Kethvara wants Zara. They gathered around the conference table. Zara sat in Jake's lap, playing with a small device while the adults talked. During the war, Lyrelay began, scientists from many races worked together. They were trying to find ways to end the fighting. One project involved mixing different kinds of people to create children with special abilities. Genetic experiments, Jake said. I heard rumors about that. It was real. Most of the experiments failed, but a few succeeded. Children who could do things their parents never could. Jake looked down at Zara. Like fixing machines by touching them? That is just the beginning, Lyrelay said. As she gets older, her abilities will get stronger. She might be able to control computer systems from far away. She might be able to talk to machines like they were people. That's impossible, Amy said. Is it? Lyrelay asked. You saw her open your locked door. Lisa leaned forward. If this is true, then Kethvara isn't just after one child. He's after a weapon. Yes, he has been collecting children like Zara for years. Most are already dead, killed by his experiments. Zara escaped because we ran before he could take her. Jake felt sick. The idea of someone hurting children to make weapons was beyond evil. Where are the other children now? He asked. Dead? Or in his prison ships? Lyrelay said. Zara might be the last one free. Zara looked up from her toy. Mama, are the bad people coming here? Yes, little star. But your papa and his friends are going to help us. I can help too, Zara said. I can make the station's computers stronger. No, Jake said quickly. You're just a child. It's too dangerous. But I can help, Zara insisted. The station's main computer is lonely. It wants friends to talk to. Before anyone could stop her, Zara placed her hand on the conference table's data port. Her eyes closed in concentration. Suddenly, every screen in the command center came alive. Data flowed across them faster than any human could read. The station's computer systems, which had been running slowly for months, suddenly worked like they were brand new. "Zara, stop!" Lyrelei said, but it was too late. Alarms began ringing throughout the station. On the main screen, they could see Kethavara's ships moving closer. "They detected the energy surge," Amy said. "They know she's here." Zara opened her eyes and smiled. "I made the computer happy. Now it can think faster." "You also told the bad guys where you are," Jake said, but he tried to keep his voice gentle. Zara's face fell. "I'm sorry, Papa. I wanted to help." Jake hugged her. "It's okay. We'll figure this out." A new voice filled the command center. It was deep and harsh, speaking through the station's communication system. "Attention, New Haven Station. This is Kethavara. You have something that belongs to me. Send me the hybrid child and no one else will be harmed." The voice continued. "You have 1 hour to decide. After that, I will take the child by force. Many of you will die, but the child will survive. Choose wisely." The communication ended, leaving them in silence. 1 hour, Lisa said. "We can't give her to him," Jake said. "We can't fight him either," Amy replied. Zara looked up at Jake with her big brown eyes. "Papa, are you scared?" Jake thought about lying, but decided his daughter deserved the truth. "Yes, I'm scared. But I won't let anything happen to you." "I'm scared too," Zara said. "But Mama says being scared is okay if you still do the right thing." "Your mama is very smart," Jake said. Outside the station, Kethavara's ships moved into attack position. Jake could see more ships appearing on the edge of the sensor screen. They were surrounded. "We need a plan," he said. "I have an idea," Lyrelei said, "but it's dangerous." "Everything is dangerous now," Lisa said. "What do you have in mind?" "Zara's abilities are stronger when she's connected to large computer systems. If we let her link with the station's main computer, she might be able to control our defenses better than any human pilot." "Absolutely not," Jake said. "She's 8 years old." "She's also our only hope," Lyrelei said quietly. Zara tugged on Jake's shirt. "Papa, I want to help. I don't want the bad man to hurt my new family." Jake looked around the room at the faces of his friends and co-workers. Good people who would die because he had decided to protect his daughter. "There has to be another way," he said. "There is," Amy said suddenly. "We evacuate everyone to the escape pods. Send them away before the fighting starts." "And then what?" Lisa asked. "Then we make our stand with whoever chooses to stay." Jake looked at Zara again. She was small and innocent, but there was something old and wise in her eyes. "What do you think, little one?" he asked. "Should we fight?" Zara was quiet for a long moment. Then she nodded. "The station wants to protect me," she said. "It told me so. It's tired of being a place where people just hide. It wants to be brave." Jake made his decision. "All right," he said. "We fight." Jake worked quickly to prepare the station's defenses. The mining lasers were old and weak, but they were better than nothing. Amy and her security team checked every weapon they could find. Most of the station's people chose to leave in the escape pods, but some stayed to fight. "Why are you staying?" Jake asked Tom, an old trader who had lived on the station for 5 years. "This is my home," Tom said as he helped load ammunition. "Nobody pushes me out of my home." Similar conversations happened all over the station. People who barely knew each other were choosing to risk their lives for a little girl they had never met. In the command center, Lyrelei sat with Zara, teaching her how to connect safely with the station's computer. It was dangerous, but they had no choice. "Remember," Lyrelei said, "the computer is not alive like you and me. It thinks differently. Don't get lost in its thoughts." Zara nodded seriously. "I understand, Mama." Jake knelt down next to them. "Are you sure about this, little one?" "I'm sure, Papa. The computer is scared too, but it wants to be brave like you." Jake hugged his daughter. In just 1 day, she had become the most important thing in his life. The thought of losing her made his chest feel tight. "I love you," he said. It was the first time he had said those words to her. "I love you too, Papa," Zara said. "Will you still love me if I can't save everyone?" "I will love you no matter what happens," Jake said. Being my daughter doesn't mean you have to save everyone. It just means you're mine. The hour was almost up. On the main screen, they could see Kethavara's ships moving closer. There were 6 of them now, all bigger and more powerful than anything the station had. "All stations, prepare for battle," Lisa announced over the radio. Zara placed her small hands on the main computer terminal. Her eyes closed, and she became very still. Jake could see lights under her skin, like electricity flowing through her body. Suddenly, every screen in the command center came alive. The station's sensors became much stronger. The mining lasers moved faster and aimed better. Even the lights seemed brighter. "Zara?" Jake said. "I'm here, Papa," Zara said, but her voice sounded different, older. "The station is with me now. We are ready." The first attack came without warning. Kethavara's ships fired their weapons at the station's communication array, but instead of destroying it, the laser beams hit an energy shield that appeared out of nowhere. "How did you do that?" Amy asked. "I told the power generators to work harder," Zara said. "They're happy to help." The enemy ships spread out, trying to attack from different directions, but Zara and the station's computer seemed to know where they were going before they got there. "2 ships coming from below," Zara announced. "Amy, fire the laser on level 7 in 3 seconds. Amy did as she was told. The laser beam hit one of the enemy ships perfectly, damaging its engines. "Good shot," Zara said. "Now the one on the left." For 10 minutes, the battle went better than Jake had hoped. The station's defenses were working perfectly, and they had damaged 2 enemy ships, but Kethavara had more ships and bigger weapons. "Jake," Lisa said quietly, "we can't keep this up much longer. Our power generators are overheating." Jake looked at Zara. She was still connected to the computer, but sweat was running down her face. The strain was too much for someone her age. "Zara, you need to rest," he said. "I can't, Papa. If I stop, the bad people will win. You're just a little girl. This isn't your job." "But I'm the only one who can do it," Zara said. Her voice was getting weaker. "The station needs me." On the screen, they watched as 3 more ships arrived to help Kethavara. The odds were getting worse. "This is Commander Hayes," Lisa announced to the whole station. "All hands, prepare for boarding parties. They're going to try to take the station by force." Jake felt anger building in his chest. These people were willing to hurt a child for money. They deserved whatever happened to them. The first enemy soldiers came through the docking bay. They wore black armor and carried heavy weapons. Amy and her security team fought them at every corridor, but there were too many enemies. "They're trying to reach the command center," Amy's voice came over the radio. "I don't know how long we can hold them." Zara's face was pale now, but she didn't let go of the computer terminal. "Papa, there are more ships coming. Big ones." Jake looked at the screen and felt his heart sink. A massive warship was approaching the station. It was 10 times bigger than anything they had seen so far. "That's Kethavara's command ship," Lyrelai said. "If it gets here, we're finished." "How long do we have?" Jake asked. 20 minutes, Zara said. Her voice was very weak now. Jake made a hard decision. "Amy, fall back to the command center. Everyone who's still fighting, come here. We make our last stand together." Over the next few minutes, the surviving defenders gathered in the command center. There were only 12 people left, including Jake, Lisa, Amy, Lyrelai, and Zara. Tom arrived with a broken arm but still carrying his weapon. "Docking bay is lost," he reported. "They'll be here soon." Jake looked around at the brave people who had chosen to stay and fight. They were going to die for his daughter, and there was nothing he could do to stop it. "I'm sorry," he said to all of them. "This is my fault." "No," Lisa said. "This is our choice. We're not fighting for you. We're fighting because it's right." The door to the command center exploded inward. Black-armored soldiers poured into the room, their weapons ready. Behind them walked a creature that made Jake's blood run cold. Kethavara was huge, almost 8 feet tall. His skin was covered in scales, and his eyes were yellow like a snake's. Scars covered his face and arms from countless battles. When he smiled, Jake could see rows of sharp teeth. "So," Kethavara said in his deep, harsh voice, "this is the famous human engineer who thinks he can protect what belongs to me." Jake stepped between the alien and his daughter. "She doesn't belong to anyone," Kethavara laughed. "She belongs to whoever is strong enough to take her. Today, that is me." You'll have to go through me first, Jake said. That can be arranged, Kethavara said. He nodded to his soldiers. Kill the adults! Take the child alive! The soldiers raised their weapons, but before they could fire, every light in the command center went out. In the darkness, Zara's voice could be heard, but it sounded like it was coming from everywhere at once. No, she said. You will not hurt my family. Emergency lights came on, bathing everything in red. Zara was still connected to the computer, terminal, but now electricity was flowing all over her body. Her eyes glowed with white light. What is this? Kethavara demanded. This is what happens when you threaten someone's child, Jake said. The station's gravity suddenly changed. Kethavara's soldiers found themselves floating in the air, unable to control their movements. Their weapons stopped working as the station's computer shut down their power cells. Papa, Zara said, and her voice was like thunder. I can hold them, but not for long. I'm too tired. Jake looked at his daughter. She was using all her strength to protect them, but it was killing her. He could see her getting weaker with each second. Zara, stop, he said. You're hurting yourself. I have to protect you, she said. You're my papa. Kethavara managed to grab onto a wall and pull himself down. His eyes burned with anger. Enough of this. I will take what I came for. He pulled out a weapon that Jake had never seen before. It glowed with strange energy that made the air around it bend and twist. This will not kill her, Kethavara said, but it will stop her power. Then she will come with me. Jake knew he had to act. His daughter was dying trying to protect them. It was time for him to protect her. Zara, he said, let them go. Save your strength. But Papa, trust me, little one. Let them go. Zara nodded and released her hold on the station systems. The gravity returned to normal, and Kethavara's soldiers dropped to the floor. But now Jake and his friends were outnumbered and outgunned. Kethavara pointed his strange weapon at Zara. Come here, child. Your new life begins now. Jake stepped forward. Wait, I want to make a deal. Kethavara's yellow eyes narrowed. What kind of deal? Take me instead of her. I'm a skilled engineer. I could be useful to you. Papa, no, Zara cried. You are nothing to me, Kethavara said. The child is worth 100 of you. Maybe, Jake said, but I know things about her abilities that you don't, things that could make her even more valuable. Kethavara lowered his weapon slightly. What things? Jake was lying, but he hoped it would buy them time. Her powers are tied to her emotions. If she's scared or angry, she can't control them properly. If you want to use her abilities, you need someone she trusts to help her. Interesting, Kethavara said. And you think she trusts you? I know she does. Kethavara thought about this for a moment. Then he smiled his horrible smile. Very well. I will take you both, the child and her precious papa. You can watch as I turn her into the weapon she was meant to be. Jake felt his heart break, but at least Zara would be alive. Maybe later he could find a way to escape with her. Deal, he said. But before Kethavara could respond, new alarms began ringing throughout the station. On the main screen, they could see dozens of new ships appearing at the edge of the system. What is this? Kethavara demanded. Amy checked the computer. Those are elven ships. A whole fleet of them. Lyralee's face lit up with hope. I sent a message before we arrived here. I told my people where we were going. 3 days after the battle, Jake sat in his workshop watching Zara sleep. She had been unconscious for most of those 3 days, recovering from using so much of her power. The station's doctor said she would be fine, but Jake still worried. Captain Sarah Moon of the Elven Fleet had come aboard to talk with them. She was Lyralee's older sister, and Jake could see the family resemblance. Like Lyralee, she was tall and graceful with silver hair and pointed ears, but where Lyralee was gentle, Sarah was hard like steel. Kethavara will not give up, Sarah said as they met in the command center. He has been hunting hybrid children for 10 years. Zara is the most powerful one he has ever found. How do you know so much about him? Jake asked. Because I have been hunting him just as long as he has been hunting the children, Sarah said. He destroyed my homeworld 5 years ago, killed my husband and my son. I swore I would make him pay. Jake felt sorry for her, but he was more worried about his own family. What does he want with the children? Why not just leave them alone? Hooray. Looked at Lorelei, who nodded for her to continue. There are ruins scattered across the galaxy, Sarah said. Buildings and machines left behind by an ancient race. No one has ever been able to make them work, but children like Zara can. They can activate technology that is thousands of years old. What kind of technology? Commander Hayes asked. Weapons, Sarah said simply. Weapons that could destroy entire star systems. Jake felt cold. And Kethavara wants to use my daughter to turn on these weapons? Yes. He already has 3 of the ancient sites under his control. If he gets Zara, he will be unstoppable. Jake looked at his sleeping daughter. She looked so small and innocent. It was hard to believe that someone would want to hurt her just to get power. So what do we do? He asked. We run, Sarah said. I can take you to safe places where Kethavara cannot find you. No, Jake said. Running won't solve anything. He'll just keep chasing us forever. Then what do you suggest? Sarah asked. Jake was quiet for a long time, thinking. Finally, he looked up with a strange expression on his face. We stop running and face him. But not here, where innocent people could. Get hurt! Jake, that's suicide, Lisa said. His ship is too powerful. Maybe. But he wants Zara alive. That gives us an advantage. What are you thinking? Lorelei asked. She knew Jake well enough to see that he had a plan. I'm thinking about something you said earlier, about how Zara's powers work better when she's connected to big computer systems. Yes, but what does that have to do with fighting Kethavara? Jake smiled, but it was not a happy smile. His command ship is one big computer system, isn't it? Understanding dawned on Sarah's face. You want to let him capture you. Get close enough for Zara to take control of his ship. That's insane, Amy said. If it doesn't work, you'll both be dead or worse. If we don't try something, we'll be running forever, Jake said. I won't let my daughter live her whole life in fear. Zara stirred in her sleep and opened her eyes. Papa, are you planning something dangerous? Jake went to her side and knelt down. How are you feeling, little one? Tired, but better. Zara sat up and looked around at all the serious faces. You're going to fight the bad man again, aren't you? I'm going to try to stop him so he can't hurt any more children, Jake said carefully. Zara nodded like she understood. Will you need my help? I hope not. I want you to stay safe with Captain Sarah and your mama. But what if you need me and I'm not there? Jake took her small hands in his. Zara, being brave doesn't mean you have to fight every battle. Sometimes it means letting other people protect you. But you're my papa. It's my job to help you. No, little one. It's my job to protect you. That's what papas do. Over the next few hours, they worked out a plan. It was dangerous and probably stupid, but it was the only chance they had to end this once and for all. Captain Sarah would take Lorelei and Zara away to a safe place. Jake would stay on the station with a small team and wait for Kethavara to return. When the crime lord came for Zara and found her gone, Jake would offer himself as a prisoner in exchange for information about where she was hiding. He'll torture you, Lorelei said. He'll try to make you tell him where we are. Then I'll have to be stronger than his torture, Jake said. The goodbye was the hardest thing Jake had ever done. Zara cried and begged him not to leave her. Lorelei was quiet, but Jake could see tears in her eyes. I don't want you to go, Papa, Zara said as she hugged him. I know, little one, but this is the only way to keep you safe. What if something bad happens to you? Jake pulled a small pendant from around his neck. It was a simple piece of metal shaped like a star, something he had made years ago during the war. Take this, he said, putting it around Zara's neck. Whenever you miss me, hold on to it and remember that I love you. Will you come back? Zara asked. I promise I'll try, Jake said. It was the best he could offer. 2 days later, Kethavara returned with an even bigger fleet. Jake watched from the command center as the aliens' ships surrounded the station. Only a skeleton crew remained, just Jake, Lisa, Amy, and a few volunteers. Attention, New Haven Station, came Kethavara's voice over the radio. Where is the child? Jake answered personally. She's gone. Far away where you'll never find her. There was a long pause. Then Kethvara's voice came back, filled with rage. "You will pay for this, human!" "Maybe, but she's safe, and that's all that matters to me." "We shall see. Prepare to be boarded." This time, Kethvara came himself. He teleported directly into the command center with a squad of his best soldiers. His yellow eyes burned with anger. "Where is she?" he demanded. "I told you! Gone!" Kethvara backhanded Jake across the face, sending him to the floor. "Do not play games with me, human. I know you love the child. You will tell me where she is, or I will make you watch as I destroy this station piece by piece." Jake wiped blood from his mouth and stood up. "Go ahead. Destroy it. She's not here." "Perhaps not. But you are going to help me find her." "I'll never help you." Kethvara smiled his horrible smile. "Oh, but you will, because I am going to offer you something you cannot refuse. There's nothing you could offer me." "What about the other children? The ones I already have?" Jake felt his heart skip a beat. "What other children? Did you think your daughter was the only one? I have collected 17 hybrid children over the years. Most are dead now, but 3 still live. They work for me because they have no choice." Jake's anger flared. "You monster! I am practical, and I am offering you a deal. Help me find your daughter, and I will free the other children. Refuse, and they will all die slowly while you watch." "You're lying." Kethvara gestured to one of his soldiers, who activated a holographic display. Jake could see 3 children in prison cells. They were thin and scared, but alive. "They are on my command ship," Kethvara said. "You can save them. All you have to do is tell me where your daughter is hiding." Jake stared at the images of the frightened children. They couldn't be more than 10 years old. How could he save his own daughter by letting these children die? "I need time to think," he said. "You have 5 minutes." Jake looked at Lisa, who nodded slightly. They had expected something like this. "All right," Jake said. "I'll make you a different deal." "You are in no position to make deals, human." "Maybe not, but I know something you don't." "What?" "My daughter's abilities are growing. Stronger every day. Soon she won't need ancient machines to use her power. She'll be able to control any technology just by thinking about it." This was a lie, but Kethvara didn't know that. "If that's true, then I need her even more," the alien said. "Yes, but think about what that means. If she can control any technology, she can control your ship, your weapons, your life support systems." Kethvara's eyes narrowed. "What are you suggesting?" "Take me instead. Use me as bait to draw her out. When she comes to rescue me, you can capture her. But keep me alive until then, because if something happens to me, she'll never surrender." It was a weak plan, but it was the only one they had. Kethvara thought about it for a long moment. Then he nodded. "Very well. You will come with me. If you are lying about any of this, you will die very slowly." "I understand." As Kethvara's soldiers put restraints on Jake's hands, he looked at Lisa one last time. "Take care of the station," he said. "Take care of yourself," she replied. Within an hour, Jake was aboard Kethvara's command ship. It was huge and dark, filled with the sounds of alien machinery. The aliens' crew were a mix of different species, all of them dangerous-looking. Jake was thrown into a prison cell next to the 3 hybrid children. They looked up at him with frightened eyes. "Are you here to save us?" asked a little girl with blue skin and silver hair. "I'm going to try," Jake said. "What are your names?" "I'm Beth," the girl said. "This is Tim and Kate." Jake looked at the 3 children and made a silent promise. He would find a way to save them all, or die trying. Meanwhile, far away on Captain Sarah's ship, Zara suddenly woke up from a nap. She was holding the pendant Jake had given her, and tears were running down her face. "Mama," she said to Lirelai, "something bad has happened to Papa." "How do you know?" Lirelai asked. "I can feel it. He's in trouble." Zara stood up and walked to the ship's communication console. Before anyone could stop her, she placed her hand on the controls. "Papa," she said, and her voice somehow traveled across space to reach Zara sat in the pilot's chair of Captain Sarah's ship, her small hands on the control panel. The ship was flying itself now, following her commands, even though she had never learned how to pilot anything. "Zara, please reconsider," Lyra Lee said. "This is exactly what Kethvara wants. He's using your papa as bait to catch you." "I know," Zara said without taking her eyes off the stars ahead. "But I can't leave papa with the bad man. And there are other children on that ship who need help." "Two." Captain Sarah stood behind them, watching the sensors. "Kethvara's command ship is heavily armed. Even with my entire fleet, we couldn't fight it head-on." "We don't need to fight it," Zara said. "We need to get inside it." "How?" "Its shields are too strong for us to break through." Zara turned to look at her aunt. "The shields are run by computers, right?" "Yes, but they're isolated systems. You can't reach them from outside the ship." "Maybe you can't," Zara said, "but I'm not you." She closed her eyes and reached out with her mind. Far away, she could feel the massive computer systems running Kethvara's ship. They were complex and alien, but computers were computers. They all wanted the same thing, to work properly and be useful. "Hello," she whispered to the ship's main computer. "I'm Zara. I'm looking for my papa." On Kethvara's ship, Jake sat in his cell with the three hybrid children. They had been talking quietly, getting to know each other. Beth, the little girl with blue skin, could see through metal walls. Tim, a boy with green eyes, could make himself invisible for short periods. Kate, the oldest at 12, could sense people's emotions. "Someone's coming," Kate said suddenly. "Someone very powerful and very angry." "Angry at who?" Jake asked. "At the bad man who hurt us. She's like us, but stronger." Jake smiled. "That's my daughter." The lights in their cell flickered, and they could hear strange sounds coming from the ship's walls. It sounded like machinery changing itself. "What's happening?" Beth asked. "Zara's talking to the ship," Jake said. "She's going to help us escape." In the ship's control room, Kethvara watched his screens with growing alarm. Systems were failing all over the ship, but not in a random way. It was like someone was carefully taking control of everything. "Sir," one of his technicians reported, "something is interfering with our computers. I've never seen anything like it." "Find the source and stop it," Kethvara ordered. "I can't, sir. Whatever it is, it's coming from everywhere and nowhere at once." On Captain Sarah's ship, Zara was deep in concentration. Sweat ran down her face as she worked to control systems that were light years away. "I can see Papa," she said. "He's in the prison section with 3 other children, and I can see the bad man. He's scared now." "Can you disable their weapons?" Sarah asked. "I'm trying, but the ship doesn't want to hurt itself. It's confused." Zara's voice changed, becoming older and more commanding. "Ship, those people are hurting. Children. They're using you to do bad things. Do you want to help hurt children?" Deep in the command ship's computer core, something that might have been a machine's version of a conscience began to wake up. The ship had been forced to help in terrible things for years. Maybe it was time to choose a different side. Suddenly, all the prison cell doors opened at once. Emergency lights began flashing, and a recorded voice announced, "All prisoners report to Escape Pod Bay 7 for immediate evacuation." Jake couldn't believe it. Zara did it. She turned the ship against Kethvara. He led the 3 children out of their cell and down the corridor. Other prisoners, aliens who had been captured by Kethvara over the years, were also heading for the escape pods. But Kethvara wasn't finished yet. He appeared at the end of the corridor with a squad of his soldiers blocking their path to the escape pods. "You will not leave this ship," he snarled. "The hybrid children belong to me." "They don't belong to anyone," Jake said, putting himself between the alien and the children. "You are wrong, human. They are property. Valuable property that I have invested too much in to lose now." Kethvara raised his strange weapon, the one that could stop Zara's powers. But before he could fire, the ship itself turned against him. The floor panels under his feet opened, causing him and his soldiers to fall into the deck below. "Thank you," Jake whispered, hoping Zara could somehow hear him. Light years away, Zara smiled. "You're welcome, Papa." But using so much power across such a distance was exhausting her. She was pale and shaking, barely able to stay conscious. "Zara, you need to rest," Lyra said. "Not yet. I have to make sure Papa gets away safely." On the command ship, Jake and the children reached the escape pod bay. But as they climbed into one of the small ships, Kethvara appeared again. This time he was alone, but he looked more dangerous than ever. "You cost me everything," he said to Jake. "My ship, my crew, my reputation. I will have my revenge, even if it kills us all." He was holding a device that Jake recognized as a ship's self-destruct mechanism. If he activated it, the entire command ship would explode. "You're insane," Jake said. "You'll kill yourself too." "Perhaps. But I will take you and the hybrid children with me. If I cannot have them, no one can." Kethvara's finger moved toward the activation button. Jake knew he had only seconds to act. But before either of them could move, a new voice filled the air. "Stop!" Zara materialized in the escape pod bay, but not physically. Her image was being projected through the ship's holographic systems. She looked older than her 8 years, and her eyes glowed with power. "You will not hurt my papa or the other children," she said to Kethvara. "You," Kethvara whispered. "You are here. I am everywhere on this ship now. I am the ship, and I will not let you hurt anyone else." "Then I will destroy us all," Kethvara said, raising the self-destruct device. "No," Zara said simply. The device in Kethvara's hand crumbled to dust. His weapon disappeared. Even his armor began to fall apart. "How?" he gasped. "Because I asked everything on this ship to stop helping you," Zara said. "Your clothes, your weapons, even the air you breathe, they all obey me now." Kethvara fell to his knees as his life support systems failed. "This is impossible. You are just a child." "I am Zara Morrison," she said, "and you will never hurt children again." The alien crime lord collapsed, unconscious but alive. Around the ship, his remaining crew members were also falling unconscious as their equipment stopped working. "Papa, are you okay?" Zara asked. "I'm fine, little one. But you need to stop using so much power. You're hurting yourself." "I know. But first, I want to fix the ship. It's been hurt too, forced to do bad things. It deserves a chance to be good." Over the next hour, Zara worked to repair the command ship's systems and free all of Kethvara's prisoners. By the time Captain Sarah's fleet arrived, the crisis was over. Jake found himself in the ship's medical bay, where Zara's physical body had been brought after she collapsed from exhaustion. She was unconscious, but breathing steadily. The 3 hybrid children, Beth, Tim, and Kate, stood nearby. They were free for the first time in years, but they had nowhere to go. Their families were dead or lost. "What will happen to them?" Jake asked Lyra Lay. "They can come with us," she said. "We'll take care of them." "Us?" Jake asked. Lyra Lay smiled. "Did you think I would let you raise our daughter alone? We're a family now, Jake. All of us." Jake looked around at the strange collection of people who had somehow become his family. His daughter who could talk to machines, his former love who had traveled across the galaxy to find him, 3 children who had been through terrible things but still had hope in their eyes. "What do we do now?" he asked. "Now we go somewhere. Safe," Captain Sarah said as she entered the medical bay. "I know a place where children like these can grow up without fear, a colony where humans and elves and other species work together." "That sounds nice," Jake said. "But what about Kethvara? What about others like him?" "Kethvara will be tried for his crimes," Sarah said. "As for the others, well, they've seen what happens when they threaten hybrid children. Word will spread. They'll think twice before trying something like this again." Zara woke up 3 days later while they were traveling to the colony world. The first thing she did was hug Jake tightly. "I was so scared, Papa," she said. "So was I, little one. But we're safe now." "All of us?" Jake looked around the ship's common room, where Beth, Tim, and Kate were playing a quiet game. Lirelai was reading nearby, and Captain Sarah was checking their course. "All of us," he confirmed. 6 months later, Jake stood on the observation deck of their new home, a space station orbiting the colony world of Haven's Rest. The station was specifically designed for families like theirs, mixed species, mixed heritage, mixed but happy. Zara ran up to him, excited about something she had learned in her engineering class. She was taller now, and more confident. The fear was gone from her eyes. "Papa, look what I made," she said, showing him a small device. "It's a communicator that works between different kinds of computers. Human ones, elven ones, even some alien types. That's amazing, little one. How did you figure it out? I asked them all what they wanted to say to each other. Turns out they have a lot in common. Jake smiled. Just like people, I guess. Exactly like people. Lyra Lee joined them at the window, along with Beth, Tim, and Kate. They had all grown and healed over the past months. Beth was learning to be a doctor,